Hello, Taylor here, with another episode of, I don't know what to call this. I kind of dropped the ball on the Tale of Two Time Zones. Don't even know if Damien wants to continue. But, after a very long year? Yeah, it's been a year. I'm back trying to paint. Since the last video that I really made, I had the pleasure of going to Articon, and it was an amazing time. I loved it. Want to go back. Sadly, just found out kind of in the past week that I can't because of some monetary and some work issues. I had to do some work on my car, which was unexpected, and work needed me to be here, so kind of a twofold thing, but I can no longer go. From the sounds of it, actually not a lot of Team Canada. I know we've got, I believe it's Team OHA is coming from Ontario, so good on you guys. Excited for you to go carry the Canadian mantle over there, but Team Canada as itself, I think we only have 2 players going, so they might have to amalgamate with another team or something like that. But yeah, which sucks a little bit. I'm disappointed in that, but I'm going to start saving right this day. I'm putting money into my Articon bank account to make sure that I can go next year and see all of my really good friends that I made almost a year ago now. I've kind of been out of the hobby completely for the last 6 months. I've been buying, commenting, that sort of thing, but I've really only played about 2 or 3 games. And I'm trying to get back into it. Some stuff happened, life, a move, which came right after I got back from the trip, and it kind of, I don't know what's the right word for it. My heart wasn't just in SPG for a while. So I'm really trying to get back to it. I miss all of my good friends that I used to hang out with all the time. I haven't gone to many tournaments. Work also got busy in those last times, so I went from being part-time on call to being basically doing 44 plus hours a week for my job, just because of some people being off sick and those sorts of things. So all of a sudden my free time that I used to have, that I used to occupy with this, was more spent just trying to live, sleep, and eat and cook meals and all those sorts of things. So yeah, things are leveling out now a little bit. Summer's always a slow season for me, so I'm back. Who knows for how long, but hopefully these will become more, because right now I'm in a challenge. My challenge that I've given myself is to paint 1,000 points of, oh god, brain fart. What are they called? What is their legendary legion called? The Grand Army of the South. There we go. Haradrim. I'm going for an army of them for 1,000 points. That basically I've got nothing painted. And my deadline is TGX, which is in July, which is about a month away now. So it's gonna be interesting. But luckily for me, GW just came out with their new paint range, contrast paints. So other than my Mumuk, which is in this sort of, there we go, which is in this sort of painted state. I've just got, I mean, it kind of looks just gray, but can we get, let's see, can we get that a little bit more? There we go. So I've got basically the dry brush and that sort of stuff done on him. But other than that, I'm gonna try and paint the whole 90% of this list with just contrast. So I've started on a warband of the Raiders on horseback, and I've been loving the paint so far. So I'm gonna start painting, and ooh, wrong end. And just chat and talk and see what happens. Do I want to do contrast paint, or do I want to do? We'll do contrast paint. Yeah. So we've had the new rules drop, had my trip, had everything like that. Damien, if you're gonna respond, how are you doing? How's life? What's different? What's new? What's changed? I want to thank you very much for your hospitality when the Canadians were up. This is gonna suck. were up there last year. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed your plays with the Chip Buddies and Dave Fredericks. It was a grand old time. Coming out to your place, seeing all the sites that are SBG Towers. And yeah, how have you been? Honestly, I don't really know what else to ask. I've been following along. I noticed you're doing Magazine 9. I'm still waiting on Magazine 8 to arrive to me. I'll probably get that at TGX because that's when I'll see Adam next. Yeah. So I came in with this with no plan of what to say or anything like that, so you're just gonna get my ramblings like always. Since we've hung out and since we've talked in the last 6 months, we've been lucky enough to get a couple new books. We've gotten Gondor at War. We've gotten the new rule book. Again, I haven't played it that much. Sadly, I've only played it about 4 or 5 times. I'm loving where the rule set seems to be going. I'm loving what the team seems to be doing. So I'm interested to see the next step. We kind of got our Hobbit. We're waiting on our Scouring of the Shire book to come out right now, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick up or not, honestly. It looks good. And I do have a Hobbit army, so I probably should. But yeah, there's been so much in the last... painting myself. There's been so much Middle-earth stuff in the last kind of 6-8 months that I can't keep up. I'm wondering if anybody else is... What's the right word for it? Oh, sorry, my chair is squeaky as hell, so I apologize. For the longest time, SBG was a game that you could kind of buy in dribs and drabs, and you didn't need a bunch to play, and there weren't any new releases, so you could buy those full armies that you wanted and really get down to the nitty-gritty and that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, we now have new stuff. We have a new rule set, we have new models coming out, we have Forge World models coming out, which do come at a bit of a premium, which I don't know if that has fundamentally changed our player base. We've lost some players here in Canada who used to be diehard fans, who used to play all the time and that sort of thing, who have moved on to different games. And I'm just wondering if that's happening over there, if anybody else, because like I said, I don't know if Damien's going to be replying to this, but is anybody else finding that? Is it finding that all of a sudden, less squeaky? Less squeaky. I lied. Is anybody else finding that people who used to be enthralled with the hobby and who used to be like some of its biggest supporters, do you find that they're oh no, don't like that. Do you find that some of them are petering out, that they're moving on to different games, trying something else, because kind of, that one. Learning things with contrast paint. Can't paint over that. Can paint over that color though. Do you find that they're moving on to different games because the niche-ness of SBG, what's the right word for it? Unpopularness has gone away. We're on Forge World. There's I think weekly posts by them about stuff. There's new models at least every month. We're getting something. We're getting a whole bunch of our made to order again. Do you find that some of those players who might have been in playing SBG because it was the uncool game to like, do you think we've lost them because it's now a cooler game? I don't know. I have seen a shift in our player base. We've gained a lot of players here in Ontario, which I'm ecstatic about. There's a whole group. Will's doing a great job up in Sudbury, getting a group up there. Where else? We've got our London guys, the OHA, doing really well down there. Newmarket, Adam over there has been playing a bunch, and there's been that. Oh, that's the other place I wanted to talk about. And Ottawa, our nation's capital. We've got Justin, Joseph, Father Justin, Joseph, and Alistair kind of making headways there with weekly game nights and yeah, at the local store there. So again, I know this probably hasn't affected anybody, maybe none of the larger communities out there, but I think I've found there's less of a, what's the word I want to use? Urgency in our player base of needing to get out to every event and to play every game and to post a bunch. I think some of that, I don't want to say necessity because it's not necessity, but urgency is gone because the game's now supported. I know I know about 2 years ago when it was first coming back that it was like, hey, we need to show them that we care, show them that we support, show them that we're trying to grow the hobby. So it was, let's get out to every conference, let's get out to every games night, let's try and create that community. But I don't know if it's just me, but it's kind of felt like, okay, somebody else can try that now. Somebody else can do that job. I need to take a step back, and that may have just been there, but I don't know. Is anybody else feeling that? Comment, like, post, subscribe, something. I don't know. What do you do on this YouTube thing? Give me some feedback, because yeah, I'm curious to what people's thoughts are about it, and if they've noticed a change in their player base, because the urgency's gone. So I'm interested to see. That was way too much white. That sucks. Oh well, you live and you learn. And we'll see what happens. God, I miss spots everywhere. I'm a terrible painter. Why do I pick a hobby that actually involves painting? So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see. I'm loving these new contrast paints though. They give you tabletop standard at a fraction of the time, and all of a sudden, and if you're not looking at them up close or anything like that, you're not freaking out about the little things you got wrong because you just don't really notice it. So that's the thing that I got to keep reminding myself while I'm painting these guys in the next month is hold them back, look at them from an arm's length away. Do they look good? Because that's the point of this army. It's not, I'm not a brushstroke, I'm not a shadow and flame, I'm not nowhere near any of those guys. I just want to get models that I'm proud of, that can sit on the table and from a distance look good. So here's hoping that I can do that. We shall see what this turns out to be. I don't even know. These guys are tough. There's a lot of folds, and not like my Gondorian. The last army I painted, they were easy. So we'll see what goes. Coming down the pipeline here in Ontario, Canada. What do we got? We've got TGX, obviously, our big one. Adam's done 99.99999% of the work on that one. So any praise definitely deserves to go to him. Yeah, he's made it an amazing event. He's reached out to a whole bunch of sponsors and gotten some great prize support. And Lewis and I have done, no offense Lewis, but we've basically done dick all. So yeah, we'll be there. I will hopefully get to play my army as a ringer army, but we shall see. Right now we're at, I think just at like 29 players, and we have space for 50. So I doubt we'll get to the 50 this year, but last year we only maxed out at 30, or we were just under, I think, and we've still got a month to go, so that should be interesting. Also at the event, we're gonna have the OSBGL annual membership meeting. So me being a part of the admin have decided to try and go to more of a democracy-based thing. So we added a $10 charge that created a voting pool of people who could vote on stuff in the OSBGL. That $10 we're gonna put towards year-end prize support, some swag, hopefully getting a banner or two for the league. so that none of the admin or nobody has to go out of pocket for anything like that. And the plan is that then those members can vote on where that money goes if that $10 becomes less. If everybody comes back and decides, hey, we want our money to come back to us, well, it will go to a vote and they will decide. But we needed a way to quantify who got to vote. Was kind of the whole reason behind it. Because sure, we could throw up a vote on Facebook or something like that, but how many people are in the OSBGL? Over 500, I think. The last time I checked, we might be up a little bit more, but there's a lot of people who have never played in an OSBGL event in the OSBGL Facebook group. So we couldn't do it like that. We didn't want to create two different groups. And also some people just don't care. They don't have an opinion. They just want to come out and play games. And if that's the case, well, then don't come to our AGM. You don't have to pay the $10. The $10 gets you a little bit of swag. Gets you one of these guys. A mic. There we go. Gets you one of those guys. And yeah, it lets you vote. So it means that we now have a list of people who can come in and people can pay right up until the event. We're going to try and live stream it for anybody who gives a crap and who can't make the event in July. And yeah, if it goes well, it goes well. If it's a bust, it's a bust, but we tried. It could literally, everybody could go there and vote and say, we don't like this, we don't want to do this next year. And guess what? Then guess what's not happening next year? A vote. And the rest of the... Is that horse or is that... I can't tell. We're gonna go with no. So can I wash it off? That's gonna be the question. Probably not. Probably not at this point. Yeah, no, she ain't coming. Sort of, not really. We're gonna set that aside and let that dry. So yeah. So that's kind of been what's... That was just a mess. That's kind of what's been going on. What's coming down the pipeline. I'm really disappointed I don't get to make it out to UK this year. Honestly, I was really looking forward to it. It was gonna kind of be that, but with kind of being out of the hobby, the savings hadn't piled up as much as I hoped. And the money just wasn't there, and then work wanted me here, and it's kind of like, can I do it? Not really. So should I do it? Not really. So I guess I'm not doing it. So not the best reasoning in the world, and not what I wanted to do, but I'll see you guys next year. Maybe some of you can come out to our GT or something like that. Or TGX, but it's a little close. I'm coming up on my 20-minute mark, which is good because I kind of feel like I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'm going to try and get a different chair for next time. Because yeah, it's squeaky as hell, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. With that, I'm kind of out of stuff to say. Might as well start with a little one, not a too heavy one. Apologies for not being around and disappearing for a while. There's no excuse for it. It's just kind of, life got in the way, and I'm not happy that life did, but it did. So I'm back, hold my feet to the fire a little bit more. Everybody, hold my feet to the fire a little bit more. And yeah, that's basically it. So, just a sec, I want to finish this. Plays the Jeopardy theme for me to say my signing off bit. Right. Arm's length, Taylor. Arm's length. Remember that. That's why I'm also not a good painter. I'm too much of a perfectionist. Yeah. Are you still recording? Cool. I've got a low battery sign on my phone, so I can't even see myself right now. So, with that, hopefully hear from somebody at some point. If not, I'll probably just record another one of these later on next week when I hopefully have my 300 points of these guys painted, because that was my goal, and my goal for last week is Tuesday right now? No, it's Wednesday. My goal for this week was to have, last week for like Sunday, was to have 100 points painted. Nowhere near that. They're not even half done. So my goal for this Sunday coming up is to have another 200 points painted. So that makes 300 points in total. So I gotta get painting. So I'll leave you to it. Have a good one, and don't forget to ignite your hobby.